Jamano Money Transfer Bureau de Change, your go-to option when it comes to money transfer. With Jamano, you can send money from anywhere in the world to your family and loved ones in the Gambia and be sure the funds will be delivered to them within the shortest time possible. For your convenience, funds sent through Jamano Money Transfer can be picked from all the banks and multiple other financial institutions, including Ajib Bank, Trust Bank, GT Bank, Mega Bank, Basic Bank, Reliance Financial Services, and Approved Services. Visit our head office at Bruceby opposite AfricMed next to Trust Bank Limited or email us at info@jamanomt.com. You can as well call us on 310-3050 or 310-3051 or yet still 733-0688. Our opening hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Jamano Money Transfer, your most trusted money transfer service where customer satisfaction is paramount. When you think of a simple, fast, and reliable money transfer, think Jamano Money Transfer.
I get it. Albaka.
Mbaka important.
Yo, nga transfer la sto.
Ya transfer la sto.
Ha, code nyingi.
Okay. Nsila ID soto.
That's sorry. I get it.
Bijan bro.
Albaka.
Mbaka.
Bara alla service o tariya. Mbare ki janna nun kunu bara tariya.
Jannom yona forest de bureau. Gambia tonkon na no mbari ya bere. Birim koyna fo kato.
Bari si kodo kino kato ni fo bolong blabe to.
56 branches mola sota Gambia jang.
Ha?
Gambia kono ani Gambia bantala bankol. Nka kodo kiya bere to. Kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta memmen na kodi to poto nin kodi maraw. Jannom number 1 di nyonta. Andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale. Wala nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale de dadi ma ni domorol ni fana be teat. Gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale je.
Wo moyo diat.
Apelenta
ni wa ni lafta nyelen kendol e bina.
Yalo bukani la ko la baraka ba.
Yalo ndel chosano lo.
Abaraka.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Brunch on Kerfatu Live. I am Lamin Cham, and today we are concentrating on the Inter-Party Committee, that is IPC, better known as IPC. Inter-Party Committee is the umbrella association, organization for all political parties in the Gambia who come together to exchange ideas and to handle disputes or misunderstandings, all aimed at ensuring, for example, and more importantly, peaceful, transparent, and fair elections. Now, the Inter-Party has made such success that countries in our region have often come to the Gambia to look at the Gambian model, and they have marveled so many times as how political parties who are often seen to be bitter rivals could come together and work in unison in the promotion of peace and transparency in elections, especially handling election disputes. Now, as the election cycle comes nearer with the presidential elections, the all important elections in just over 16 months or so, the IPC suddenly must be very busy flexing their muscles, preparing for the 2026 elections. That's why I drag into the studio the co-chair of the committee, Honorable Samba Baldeh, as well as the administrative head of the IPC, Alhaji Bayo. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Today I want to discuss issues, if the IPC, I'm sure, have been following the election bill that has been, or that's still going on in Parliament, not yet concluded. So maybe the next session or after the recess, they will continue. Also, we will talk about political parties, the emergence of new political parties. We will talk about relationship between the IPC and the Independent Electoral Commission. And these days, the elephant in the room, of course, is the overseas ID card issuance scheme. This is particularly important because over the last couple of weeks, there have been a lot of agitation by opposition politicians and civic society who have expressed concern about the overseas issuing of Gambian national ID cards to Gambians living overseas. Now, the Gambia government, and much recently through the Ministry of Interior, have assured the Gambians that the exercise is purely a national duty to answer to the needs of Gambians who might be in need of national documents to enable them to sit comfortably or reside comfortably within the law in the countries of their residence. But civic society, and like I said, opposition politicians have said the measure lacks transparency, and in fact they allege that the motive is definitely political manipulation to somewhere even direct, allegedly rig elections by giving the votes to non-Gambians. These and other issues are the ones I'm going to discuss with the IPC, so I should begin with Mr. Baldeh, the chairman of the co-chair of IPC. Mr. Baldeh, welcome to the Brunch. It's been a year since you've been here, your committee that is. First of all, take us through what have you been doing over the last year or so?
Thank you very much, viewers. Thank you very much, Lamin Cham, for inviting me at Kerfatu here. And I'm greeting all the viewers in the Gambia and in the diaspora, everybody. I say thank you to all for at least listening to us. Well, this is the co-chair today at Kerfatu, and my admin secretary here, Alhaji Bayo. First of all, the IPC is very busy throughout the past years. And actually, presently, we have just concluded the setting up of women groups in all the regions because we want to be felt in the entire country. We already have youth branches throughout the country, and we now also have women branches throughout the country. And actually, at the moment, we are also working on a program that we want to go countrywide also to sensitize people, our members, on this hate speech, because it is something that we felt that can bring chaos in elections and in campaign periods, because we want to ensure that we have credible, transparent, and correct elections without any hindrance of hate speech and so on. Because here what we are advising political parties or members of our political parties is that let them actually be mindful of hate speech and let them concentrate on their manifestos when they meet, when they have their rallies and so on. So this is what normally we advise political parties on the ground, and we are trying to strengthen our capacity in the regions and in everywhere. So that's what we are on right now in preparation of the forthcoming elections.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, you said you have been busy in the provinces trying to expand or catch the catchment that deals with women.
Women, youth, and people living with disabilities.
Okay. You intend to sensitize them on what the existence and the role of the IPC?
Yeah, because the IPC have a code of conduct.
Yes.
And the political parties that join the IPC, all registered political parties at the IEC level, by the IEC, are all members of the Inter-Party Committee. And this code of conduct, we have to inculcate it into them, to tell them what is the code of conduct of the IPC. Because that's the only way that we can have a fair and credible elections. Because that's the way that people can at least listen to, say, well, this is what the IPC is saying about code of conduct. So we have to behave this way, and we should not behave that way. You see? So that's why we have to inform the people. They have to know it, and so on.
Okay. Do you also take it upon yourself to encourage, might not be your mandate, political parties for inclusion, for example, encouraging women to up for political office, or you don't have that anymore?
We have done that also, that program countrywide, where we try to engage political parties to involve women and people with disabilities to take up political positions, especially the quota system. We're trying to sensitize our political leaders and encourage women also and the people living with disabilities to come forward and take these positions in politics, because they are also members of the society. And the way anybody can be disabled at any time, you can be part of that any time, because if you are grown old and the vision now is you are part of the disabilities, people with disabilities. Okay, so actually we feel that they should not be left behind, because people normally leave them out in politics. You see, sometimes somebody, a cripple, want to take up a position in just like an MP. People say, look at this man, that and that and that. You don't know the capacity he is having, his intellect and so on. That's why he have to come forward and show himself. You see, the women also have to come up. Despite all challenges, they come support each other, and then we put women forward, because we felt that if you educate a woman, you educate the whole nation. Absolutely. So you cannot talk about somebody in the absence of that person. The women know what is their problem, and they are better to inform these people, or at decision-making levels. They are the people who can talk about themselves. What are their needs? What are their challenges? And then from there, at least it will be taken up by government or by any institution that they belong to. So we felt that, well, we have just concluded also that that sensitization.
Yeah. Okay. People often wonder whether you have, as IPC, we know, of course, you are uniform umbrella convergence for all political parties, where issues about electoral matters are discussed and disputes probably prevented through understanding and dialogue. But people want to know whether, in actual fact, do you have any authority to impose, for example, sanctions, or where your recommendations are not respected by any member of the committee, like political party, that's what I'm talking about. Do you have a way of sanctioning that political party?
Actually, here the IPC, we don't have sanctions mechanisms as yet. But within ourselves, we know what to do, because we are working on that to make sure that at the political parties that defy our code of conduct, there's a way we should sanction them. What is not yet agreed upon and signed, what is on the pipeline that we are discussing about it to see how best we can do it. Because an institution, if you belong to be an if you belong to an institution, that institution should have mechanisms where at least those who defy their program, they sanction them in a way. But at the moment, we only discuss about how to reconcile, how to advise, actually to regularize political parties, and then internal disputes and so on. We try to come and mediate between them and then make sure that there is compromise and the oneness is there again. That's what we do at the moment. So because we still have other political parties that sometimes they don't come to our meetings for a long period, and we are thinking what to do with those people, and that's where we are going to bring our sanctions that we want to do. So what is in the pipeline is not yet agreed upon as a body, so that we will agree upon it, sign it, and then it will be distributed to all political parties. And political parties will know that if I do X, Y, and Z, I will be sanctioned by the IPC.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to the head of the bureau, the man who does the everyday to-day, that is every day-to-day running of the office, Mr. Alhaji Bayo. Alhaji, let me begin with you. How many political parties, if I did not catch you off guard, are members of the IPC?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Cham, for inviting the Inter-Party Committee into this brunch program. First of all, I would want to take this opportunity to express sincerely to the Kerfatu as a media that actually always trying to see what the state of affairs when it comes to politics in these countries, because I think they're trying to harness the resources, the human resources that we have in this country, to ensure that the Gambia becomes a model. And this is what we are all trying to do. First of all, Inter-Party Committee, it is an organization that was built in consensus to ensure that political differences within intra and inter are solved in a way whereas they can present mechanisms of dialoguing, mediation, not actually to sanctions, to be able to put findings about how can you be able to redress certain actions by political parties. And this was the architecture at the time. And when we realized the Inter-Party Committee, and we've seen some of the issues that happened in the past, what political parties have endured in this country during the 2022 years of President Jammeh and the 2016 presidential election coming to date. And that is the reason why the Inter-Party Committee becomes eminent, especially within the political space. It has now been expanded, because when it started with 9 political parties, and then Kande GDC registered after the impasse, before the impasse, and it makes it 10. So 10 were the signatories of the code of conduct at the time and the memorandum of understanding. And then later it started, increasing, and aggrandizement becomes an order of the day. It glorified to now what we have like 20 political parties.
20 now.
Yeah. They just recently concluded, registered by the IEC, is the ADD, registered by Malik Kamara, and makes it 20. And so if I can go to your question straight,
yes,
we have 20 political parties.
20 political parties right now.
Yes.
Now, how do political parties become members? Now, because one could assume that you must have to be registered first by the IEC, recognized as a bona fide political party.
Yes.
What about people who are politicians, but they want to go independent? They don't have political parties, but anyway, they still election stakeholders. They still have queries. They still have complaints. They still want to, go by the ethics of the IPC. What's your attitude towards those independent?
Well, I think this was a concern, and the Inter-Party Committee looked at it in a various models to ensure how can you incorporate independent candidates, like you're talking about those who are outside the box of political party registrations, because they are also, in the conduct of the same things that political parties are doing. Because when you are an independent candidate, you pursuing or you seek for a political power, it's the same thing political parties are also doing. So how can we incorporate them? So we had a concept note about this, and then it was approved by the United Nations Development Program and the NDI, the National Democratic Institute at the time. So we had a retreat at Sindiola for 3 days to look at the conduct of political parties and the incorporation of these independent candidates. So the only thing we felt at the time was to look at the code of conduct, the MOE, or the foundational document that the IPC has. How can we redress these issues? Because it's about getting them on board. So during the retreat at Sindiola, this issue came up, and we incorporate them in the new code of conduct. And this new code of conduct has not been put into practice yet, because since it was formulated at Sindiola, because when you look at the decision-making body or the decision-making strata of the Inter-Party Committee, you have the leadership first, that is the political party leaders. Then it comes to the plenary. Plenary, it is the overall body of the Inter-Party Committee, because each political party has 2 members in the Inter-Party Committee. No, 3 members, 2 permanent and 1 alternate. This is how it is structured. So the plenary has that consensus building approach to be able to empower any decision making in the Inter-Party Committee. Then you have the co-chairs, and then you have the subcommittees. That's the that is the administration and the finance. And now we have other subcommittees under these 2 main committees. So this is how it is done. So we cannot just usher in a document that was done at Sindola by plenary, but we need to seek the consent of the political party leaders. This is where the decision-making body comes first. So first, what we did, we approached the outgoing co-chairs, that is on the right Honorable Alpha Sala and Amul Nyasi. Those were the co-chairs that Samba and Ba succeeded. They are now presently the advisors of the party committee. So we approached them and talk to them about the issue of the redress. And what they said was just to consult, or wider a broad-based consultation process to be able to capture the leadership. And then when we get their consensus on it, then the plenary can now act, and it becomes binding for political parties, so that at least they also can be incorporated into the activities of the IPC. But as I'm talking now, as I'm here today in this program, we are not yet finalized with the decision from the party leadership. Once we're done with that, we come to plenary, and it becomes something that's a working document for IPC.
You mentioned an interesting thing. You said political party leaders. Those are the key decision makers of the IPC.
Yeah.
One of the issues that people have about IEC is that you don't seem to succeed in bringing these political party leaders together. I mean, if you do, it's not visible. And people said your strength might lie in how capable you are in bringing these people together frequently. But at least for the purpose of visibility, that would be more assuring, and in fact makes your job easier if you are able to bring them together, quite often. Because many people view that, rapprochement between these political leaders will definitely make it much easier for the maintenance of peace and the security of the country when it comes to political matters.
In fact, this is...
I remember a famous attempt to breakfast in Georgetown, but even there, you don't seem to have everybody on board.
It can come in, but let me just it can come in as well on the same thing. I think that's the intent for the Inter-Party Committee to be having political parties leaders, in fact, more frequently in addressing the issues of the IPC. But again, I think we come up with a concept note, whereas we have these quarterly breakfast meetings for political party leaders, and I think we have exhausted all the regions, because each region will have one quarterly breakfast meeting where all the political parties will converge. In fact, it gave us a positive dividend, when we came up with the idea of having the Jajabura Peace Accord. That was a political breakfast meeting. Political parties were there, some, although all of them were not there, but some were there, and some were represented. And that code was signed. And we all knew how the 2021 presidential conduct was done. It was peaceful, and then it was free and fair as well. So political party leaders, you cannot get them all on board because we know how busy they are.
No, is that not total? Their lack of commitment. They do dedicate time for other things. If they take the IPC seriously, why would they not dedicate time to it?
Well, some would prefer representation.
But why? Because I mean, they are the higher the representation, the better.
Yeah, Coach.
Okay, thank you very much. I think here the problem of having most of them together, because of their busy schedule, and sometimes when we have a date, a selected date, some of them will not be found in the country. And people like the president, if we are putting it up country because we decentralize these meetings. So if it is there, it will be difficult for him to fuel vehicles, that convoy that is too expensive for him to go there. We felt that, well, that's because of their busy schedule. So sometimes if we have it here, he will attend within the combos here. That's very simple and so on, and it's very easy. He can even reschedule his activities and make sure that he attend that program. But where the party leader is not there, the most senior person in the party always attend those programs. So we felt that, well, the person can sign and do anything on behalf of the party leader, because that's what the mandate of the person attending is given. And it will make sure that at least whatever the party leader can sign or he agreed to, when he or she agreed to it, it means the party leader have agreed to it. So we felt that, well, they are represented.
Yeah, I'm talking now about people out there. You know, the out people for what they see and conceive. Now, the parties may be represented and sign a binding document, but people outside want to see. I mean, the people who contest elections. They see them together, you know, and then they are preaching peace. People think this would be more convincing and make your job much easier. Why is it difficult for these party leaders who are going to contest? They can have time to go to the IEC, they can go to the corner of every corner of this town to campaign or to organize their people, but they don't seem to dedicate time themselves to sit down.
Mr. Sham, they do. You are looking at the percentage. Maybe
how many occasions did you have 1, 2, 3 political leaders?
Of course, we have more than 10.
We have about 13 sometimes.
Did you have presidents among them every time?
We have what?
No, but
the president has never attended one.
But he only said
never attended.
He never attended. But like
that is because of, like you said, logistical problems, or maybe his lack of commitment.
Well, the office of the president actually
the
dictates
moving
on
is
that.
very difficult.
Dictates on that. That say to move the president, it's quite expensive. So not all gathering at the president can. But again, I think I would support your idea on that. That if there is commitment,
yes,
no matter what,
the president going to
exactly. These are things.
We see him going to every time you go and say, "I'm going to look at a project." He has time for that.
Exactly.
So if there's commitment,
and in fact, he wants to.
There's a need for all of them to come together, for the people to see and like, look, if these people we are supporting are coming together, breakfasting together, laughing, together, why are we fighting?
Exactly.
I mean, that really make it easy.
Exactly, and that's the reason why, Mr. Cham, the IPC came up with another program, which is that's the backdrop. That is to have enrolled programs, and this to enroll outreach programs.
Okay.
So this outreach program is designed in such a manner that IPC can go there with a delegation.
Okay.
Comprises of senior members of the IPC or even committee heads. You understand, to meet these political party leaders, so that at least we can share issues of contemporary issues of national concern. You understand? And one of them, I think the co-chair was trying to point out, was our visit to State House.
Yes, I remember.
You remember? And then our visit to State House comprises of some of these issues that you highlighted now. Why the president is not attending inter-party committee calling? Why he's not answering to the call of the inter-party committee? I think I was the one who even read that statement.
Yeah.
And the president acknowledges it, that yes, it's true. This is what should be done.
Okay.
But we'll see how to walk around.
He's committed then.
Yeah.
You understand? So at any time the call is made to his office that the inter-party committee wants to see you, his doors are open. That I can testify.
Okay, if you want to meet, if it's State House, always welcome.
He's always welcome.
Yeah.
And that we said, not only to be coming to State House, we also want you to come to our program so that you take the lead as the state, at the head of the state of affairs, and other political parties follow.
Yeah.
You understand?
Go to State House, that will come, ethical issues will come also and say, are you people now only for NPP?
They will not question the credibility.
Yes, ethical.
That's why.
Yes, credibility of the inter-party committee. Are you not aligned?
Yes.
Are you showing more proximity or complicity to the presidency?
Yes.
And these are where we have. But we said inter-party committee comprises of both ruling and opposition. So coming to the president as heads of state, this is a national office. Inter-party committee has the right to come there. But again, for the layman there, will not have the technicality to understand
that, okay, it's very difficult to move the president
exactly
to
locations that are very uncomfortable
can easily
access. You see, this is the problem.
And
we do have.
Yeah, in fact, he did promise one time.
But at least
He did
It was quarterly. That is every 3 months. We have a meeting. Every 3 months we have. This house been doing. But political parties do come. They do come. Leaders do come. Especially the last one we had in January in Farafenni. Many came.
Yeah, in fact, the president one time even promised us that if we have it within the
Greater Banjul.
Greater Banjul,
Okay.
he's going to look at it and he will attend. Definitely, he gave us that assurance. And presently, we are trying to organize a program, as I told you, this hate speech issue.
National convergence.
We want to have a national convergence also, and we have written letters. We to invite all political parties to attend that national convergence.
Okay,
and it will be very soon.
Let's go straight there. You had the National Human Rights Commission says that they had commissioned a study supported by UNESCO, and the findings is that the biggest perpetrators of hate speech
Politicians.
are politicians and religions.
That's it.
Okay, so since you people are not into religion, but you are into politics, so
Politics, yeah.
that is, the politicians are guilty as charged.
Yeah.
Not guilty as charged.
Not a matter of being guilty.
Have we not seen it in the press? Politicians going out of the line to attack based on tribes.
This is the reason why, in fact, we are organizing this hate speech issue and the training, sensitizing people countrywide. And after going to the regions, we will come and have that national convergence where both political party leaders will come and we'll write something, just an MOU sort of, or just like a code of conduct, and the political party leaders will sign. That's the intent. They will sign there that they agree to what the provinces or what the region committees have agreed on hate speech. So this is what we are intending to do, and I'm hopeful that most, if not all, most of the political parties will attend, because we even have a committee that is going around, that started going on, but it's now they relent now. But we were going to party leaders, at least trying to show them that they are the honor of the IPC, because they are the highest decision body, and that they should always answer to our call. Because whenever we call them, there is a need, or there is something that we want to tell them, or we want them to do something for us. So actually that necessitates them coming and attending our programs whenever we call them. And I'm hopeful that this national convergence we are advocating for, we are about to do, they will attend. A large number of
and I think that was the reason why the inter-party committee was invited in that validation of the study, so they'll be able to know what will be the stake of the inter-party committee, because we represent political parties. Again, the presentation of the study, I think, unveiled a lot of, it's an eye-opener to political parties, especially those who attended, that we are the main perpetrators. Okay, but again, the manner in which the study was conducted, to me, I was not convinced that that it could be actually political parties. Because
politicians.
Politicians or political parties.
Okay,
general politicians, because some are not from political parties.
Do you want to disagree that these politicians are not perpetrators?
They are not the main perpetrators of hate speech.
Why do you say
because when you looked at the code of conduct in the inter-party committee, most often I think it has not been violated to an extent. To say,
but is your conduct different from general conduct like hate speech?
How hate speech
is analyzed and understood?
No, the thing here, the problem is normally all executive members within a political party, when they go to platforms, you don't see them using hate speech.
They said in political platforms.
But the platforms there, you have other people, the supporters and so on, will come up with these things. And that's why we are,
messages?
or
WhatsApp
in their
footage?
WhatsApp message, and you think that it is the political, no political party leader or political party executive members, they will go to the platform and utter such things. Are you seeing? It's only maybe the supporters or other members that are outside the circle. Okay? They are the people who does that. That's the community.
You didn't hear people saying that if so-and-so comes to power, so-and-so minority group should be kicked out. Not long ago, the UDP was campaigning in a press release that somebody from another party said that their party will throw away the minorities.
Well, how was it ascertained that he's from a political party? How was it ascertained that he came from a political party?
It came from
the
political
utterances.
party officials, politicians.
An official
An
from
official
a senior official member.
You didn't see the UDP. You missed the UDP's press statement then.
I did not miss the press statement, but the problem is, what I'm just asking is, if whether it was ascertained that it's from a political party.
That
The utterance you are
no,
talking
the report said politician. The study said politician.
Yes.
UDP is accusing Sidin Jai of making that tribal districts. The UDP, you didn't see the press release.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The human rights study said it's politicians and religious leaders who are Nikki perpetrators. So I'm saying that example of a complaint. I'm not even saying whether Siri did that or not, but the complaint has come from the UDP that he did this and he did that. So if the Human Rights Commission is saying that it's politicians, then they have a valid point.
Yeah, but human rights,
even politicians themselves are quiet.
the human rights is not saying.
Not long ago, they accused Lawyer Dabo. Lawyer Dabo made a statement in support of former Attorney General, for him to continue to be the candidate of the Gambia for ICJ. And that was accused of saying that the government abandoned him and he's a Sarahule. And people said, no, concentrate on issues. Why government abandoned him? Don't bring his ethnic background.
Yeah.
I was condemned for that. So if the human rights saying it's politicians who bring this thing, they are right.
Now, here, what we should understand is we have to analyze what is a hate speech. What is that?
That's what I'm saying. Examples.
Are you seeing?
It's what I'm
And there is a tribal issue that he is talking about.
That's hate speech.
Are you seeing?
Defamatory.
So
In fact,
the
in the report,
defamatory
the
of this.
report said the hate speech
Yeah,
is
because-
done through tribe
Yeah,
and ethnic.
that's it.
Ethnic and
So-
religious.
Here, it's just like when you have your farm and one monkey goes there to spoil, then you say monkeys did that.
Well, yes.
So accuse all the monkeys
If you
of
found
doing that.
If you found monks,
So-
you don't see. you blame the monks.
So now, if one politician does that, that doesn't mean that it's all politicians.
predominant.
It's predominant.
That's what I'm saying. And that is my point.
These are things always you have to say at least one or two doing that, and this is why we are trying to discourage that.
I am not in
That's
denial.
going around.
I am not in total denial. Mr. Chan.
For example, recently, Dabo has been accused of
Sidi and so
has been accused of it.
yeah.
I'm not in constant denial to say political politicians in general.
That's the human rights body.
You understand?
The religion too. They
Yes, but again, to say they are the main that's my problem.
they
That's my
said they are the
concern.
key perpetrators. Them and the religious.
That is where my concern. That's why I'm driving my concern.
Well, that's it.
I am not in total denial.
Examples.
Yes, it happened.
Yeah.
Of course, I support your statement that it happened.
Yeah.
But it's not predominantly politicians that are doing it only.
Who then do it?
People in society.
I think the social media,
What
social media.
political religion. That's what they say.
Then
People don't just get up
then,
and
then let's base it on society. That the main perpetrator is
people don't
society.
get up and attack religions or attack how to call it tribes.
Anyway, let us don't dwell more time
They
on
must
this.
have a common denominator.
It is a study.
Yeah.
How the study was conducted, they know.
don't know.
You know, whatever they said about the study, that's fine, it's okay. But we are trying to ensure we put our house in order. Political parties know, they are aware of the code of conduct of the IPC, what brought us together, what binds us together, they know it. I think no politicians will be able to violate their own code of conduct. And we are trying to strengthen this day by day to ensure political parties commit to this code of conduct.
Yeah.
And when they don't, when they fail to do that.
They will find a redress.
Yeah, if people want to know what kind of redress, you already discussed, Chairman has just discussed that you don't still have what I would say, the bite, teeth and bite.
To sanction.
To be able to have sanctions.
Yeah, because the political party was not designed to sanction. We are not designed to exclude others.
But you can name and shame and say, well, the NDP or the NCP of Lamin Cham has refused to do this and they are now going out. You can name and shame.
Yes, but what we do towards that is to call the perpetrators on board and sit
Call them
and dialogue.
publicly so that people know that.
No, but it's an in-house. We talked about it. Then from there we issue press releases. Have you not seen inter-party press releases? What do we discuss there? Exactly. So that's what we do, because we are not designed.
But you always you all go shy of naming the people and the political party.
But when you have a family, in your family, if there are disputes within your family, you don't go out and tell them, my son did this, my son did this.
No, if you hold public accountability, you have to tell people who's going wrong.
Yeah, in fact, this is why I told you there's something that we design how to at a reprimand. That's to name and shame auto yeah, also at least maybe to this them to give them at least a warning. And to write to them as a warning. Yes. So we have that in the pipeline.
Not something severe.
But that we need to have the support of the political party leaders. We have to put it to them, and then when they sign it, then it becomes binding. And anybody who defies these things, then we'll know that at least these are the sanctions that IPC is going to put on you.
I think one of them would be suspension.
Yeah, we can even suspend. So we have all that in the pipeline, but it's not yet.
For a period of time.
Since IPC was meant to prevent disputes and encourage divergence, convergence, all right. Some people said some of the bitter debates that happened in Parliament and the unfortunate conclusions, like the defeat of the draft constitution twice in Parliament, and some other things like the defeat of Clause 14 that covered diaspora voting. People believe if the IEC had been involved, or you have played your role well, you probably might have secured a consensus among, because you of all people have more opportunity to reach out to all the political parties than even maybe the NPP or the UDP if they wanted to do that. I mean, they will have to cajole, go through it, but you find a way of getting to everybody, since everybody's represented in your party. Don't you think you had a unique opportunity to go out and seek a concession before parliamentarians or politicians representatives go to Parliament? People think you can help in that.
Actually, at the moment the IPC is not a statutory body where we should have where we can receive funds or be funded by government. Here, with this funding problem, we wrote the concept note where at least we wanted to take lead of the national constitution, at least where we'll bring political parties, especially our MPs, sit with them, discuss with them, and then see the controversial issues in the draft election bill and so on. We discussed this with them, but we could not get the funding up to now. And we could have, because when we had a meeting with the NHRC, we told them that it is the IPC that could have taken this lead. If we are funded, if we take it at this, it would have been more credible. And because we have access to all political parties. And if we call the political parties, they will come. And if we have the budget, or we have the budget, but we don't have the funding. So when we have these things, we will be able to discuss with them, the parliament, maybe before they table it at Parliament.
Yes.
We could have discussed with them, and then they will have, we will all be on the same page. And you see that when it goes to Parliament, because you find that something that they have already discussed and they have agreed on what to do and what to change, what to amend and what to increase, then it would have been a simple matter. You see. But then we are unfortunate to get the funding and take the lead.
So you mean you have to have funding to be able to?
Of course, because here we are only depending on donor funding.
Who donates you?
Normally, we have programs. When we have roll out our programs, especially UNDP, UN, ECOWAS, that's where we roll our programs. And then when we are funded, we go ahead, UNESCO and so on. So this is what we do. So when we have those ones, yeah, we don't have a permanent.
We don't have a public funding.
We have public funding. Yeah. We have our budget, but we don't have public funding.
And then in extension,
and we are working towards to be a statutory body so that we can get that public funding. And then the IPC will be on its right footing.
All you need is parliamentary approval. You have parliamentarians come from political parties. You have all the political parties.
But you know, there is a bill. You have to write it as a bill. It has to come up as a bill before it goes to Parliament.
Yes.
And we trying to engage because we discuss with the speaker and other political party leaders, and they have given us an advice what to do. Now our next move is to meet the Minister of Justice, where we felt that this bill can be drafted by government. And if it's drafted by government and sent to Parliament, it will have more weight than if you have it as a private bill. So this is where we are now, and we are working very hard to make sure that this happens.
And then when, in extension to that, when you're giving funds within the remit of the amount that was given to you, you cannot stick or go beyond what is given to you. This is the reason why we had the difficulties to tap funds and then be able to divert funds for certain programs like the constitutional building. This is something that was very, very eminent to the IPC.
Yeah.
You understand? Because this is a national document.
People believe
this is a document that every Gambia has hope on. Because we are talking about the flaws in the 1997 constitution. We are talking about the redress. We are talking about the difficulties. We are talking about institutional issues. Because when you talk about institutions, it's about the rule of law. And this is what I keep saying always. Even in the United States, where I have two all main political parties, with all their differences, they sit within the Senate and agree on certain big pillars. And those big pillars are pillars that consolidate government agenda for everybody's well-being.
Exactly.
You understand? And this is the same thing that applies to the Gambia. Despite we are from a political party, they are political party, this is Gambia national document. IPC has a role to play.
Yes.
But again, our role could not be visible because of we are restrained of budget, we are restrained with funding. There is no finance. You cannot move to be having courtesy calls, meetings, syndicate meetings with parliamentary. Where are you going to have the vehicles? Where are you going to have the money that you spend for transportation? How are you going to get them in there? How are you going to... IPC doesn't have that funding. What we've seen over the past years was misplaced priority. Even within our own funders. That is the UN system. In fact, before giving the right project to the IPC or the right people who own those projects, they can't. They give it to other people that are relevant. They think they are relevant. At the end of the day, it's defeated. We've seen in Brunch Chambers, we've seen Jonathan Goodluck coming to the Gambia in and on.
Yeah.
What dividend does he play? Nothing. Some of us traveled from here up to Nigeria, came back fruitless. All those monies could have been put together and give it to the right institution that has that integrity. You understand? To be able to convince their own partners to say, hey, this is a national document. Whatever difference we have, let's put it aside. Let's give the benefit to the Gambian people.
Yeah. I've often had people say that solutions to our problems will not come from foreigners.
Of course,
that's it.
Of course, of our own. So what is eminent about having Jonathan Goodluck in the Gambia?
This idea, international idea.
That's what I'm saying. In Chambers, yes. That's what in fact, what they do is to invite the Interparty Committee to come and share with them our own standing, our own position. What do you think is right? So it's like we are even giving them the guide or what to do. But again, it is difficult because if me and you speak the same language, we are from the same country. What we speak in house and what somebody speak to is somebody coming from somewhere else is different. Me and you can talk about some things, we can disagree and agree. But the moment
it was said that Chibun Chambers succeeded in bringing Bayo and Dabo to one table.
What dividend does that pay?
That is said to have happened. All right. But then, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
We are saying,
what dividend?
If the IPC had been able to do that over breakfast, long time, we could have been easier.
We can bring not only Dabo and Bayo. We can bring any other political party that has representation in the parliament.
Yeah, and
we can do that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Because I think what I told you.
That's why I was asking how committed were the leaders to this breakfast with leaders.
Of course, they are committed.
If that had been established. That platform can be used very easily to get them to agree on constitutional matters.
Of course, and these are things that we started during our last breakfast meeting. But again, all of a sudden, no funding for the quarterly breakfast meeting. When last did we conduct it? It's not more than a year now.
2023.
Can you remember? Since the last one to now is more than a year. How do you even consolidate?
Maybe also these international mediations are not at the behest of the government. Maybe this government is offered by idea and order for donors and say, okay, we will involve international celebrities to come over and see whether that can work.
To attract relevance.
Maybe it's not the government. The government cannot say under that circumstance, no, you don't come, we'll solve our own problem. They cannot.
No, Mr. Cham, what I see in this regard is it's like funding is coming. And the relevance is there. This is a big problem. Everybody, anywhere you put this stock in the market, people buy it. The idea of Gambian constitution, anywhere you put it in the market, people buy it. So I think it's like they want it to revolve. They don't want it to stop so that funding can keep coming. I hope you understand my point I'm making.
I see your point.
That is why they are not inviting the relevant people who are going to solve this, who have the solution.
Once and for all.
So that anytime funding comes, they use it, blah, 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 it's finished. They go another fund up till now. And this constitution will be here as long as funding is coming.
Even our own monies, our own Gambian money, they're estimating that 200 million must have been used in the two drafts.
How can it be justified?
In the two drafts.
Anyway, I see.
What the donors brought, we don't know.
This is the reason why, even when International Idea brought Ibn Chambers at the conference center, we were invited to come and listen.
Yes.
So there, I in fact told them that you are doing this, you are not giving the right institution to head this. Because outsiders cannot come and put our house in order for us. We are the custodian of political parties. If the funding is given to the IPC, we would have at least made the changes. But we are not getting the funds. The funds are coming to other agencies. For instance, Lamin Cham, I cannot come to your compound and I want to use your and leave you out. And I want to talk to your family members. Okay? If I want at least what I'm telling them to hold water, I will involve you. I will use you to talk to your people. Okay? So if you leave the IPC in this program, this constitution will be here for ages. It will not be solved. IPC is the right institution to handle this.
Exactly.
Let them give the fundings that they are giving to other institutions to come here. Let them give it to the IEC and see whether the IEC is the IPC is not going to do it, and we'll succeed for sure.
And not only you might bring consensus among the politicians.
That's it.
On other matters.
We can strike balance. We can strike the balance. Yes, of course. And we are even really trying to question certain things that happen in the international world. Like, for example, member states that are paying their dues contributions to make these programs happen. Because when you talk about the United Nations, this system, even the Gambia as a country is paying their own dues. Not only the Gambia, about 100 and something members of the United Nations are paying. Security Council is there. The General Assembly is there. But I question, did people even ask where their monies are going? Because you keep funding certain things, at the end of the day, it doesn't pay dividend. You are still paying money.
Yeah.
Let's call a spade a spade.
Okay, let's move on to the current issue. There's a lot of controversy surrounding the policy that government came about to issue ID cards to Gambians abroad. Let's say Gambians in neighboring countries, mostly West Africa and Central Africa now we have. The government says this is necessary because Gambians often fall victim to laws and immigration rules in the countries of their residence, and they need to have national ID cards, to be able to access or regularize their status or all kind of things. But the opposition political parties, and some of them are members of your party, your committee, and some civic society, and a lot of other independent people believe that the issue, the policy, very much as it may sound very assuring, it has a problem in that the ID card is one of the eligibility documents you need to access a voter's card. So they believe that since there is now a suspicion, and the politicians and people are saying, why can the IPC now be involved to ensure that, okay, all right, this is a government policy, this is a government process, yes, but it has implications on our elections, and we have members who are concerned about the election aspect of it. Why don't we come up with a framework where everyone will be assured that this is definitely transparent and really for the national interest?
Yeah, I allow.
Have you been,
Bayo
for example, let me begin by asking, have you been following or been receiving complaints?
Yeah, we have been receiving complaints and we are following as well. Well, I allow Bayo. Listen to.
How's your office following these developments?
Well, I think the issuance of ID cards is rested on the institution that is given the mandate. that is the
Only
Gambia.
last night, the Ministry of Interior, I
The
think I should
Ministry of
update,
Interior?
they came out with a statement that
Through
these measures are actually
in place.
they've taken a trip to Gabon and Togo. That this is actually, like I've said, this is a need to get documents to Gambians for them to access national documents. And they said, perhaps more importantly, that they're not going to issue the hard copy of the cards there. They're just going to profile them, perhaps, and then the cards will be released in Banjul. But all the more reason that people still believe that, and they are assuring that the process that happened here, when you are applying for ID card, the same process is going to happen there. That's what they are assuring people. But I have had this before. I've had people complain it's not possible. I mean, to have those legal requirements located from Banjul to Libreville or to Lomé or to Nouakchott, where you have no Alikalolu, you have no Shefolu. How can you then say that every safeguard has been put in place to ensure that only eligible people have it? That's been the concern of the society.
Whether they are Gambians or not.
How's your committee going on?
We actually, as a committee, just like I made mention earlier on, the inter-party committee comprises of both the ruling and the opposition. And for government to exist, it must have political parties. And then within their setup, some of them partners to become the ruling party, and some of them are on the other side called the opposition party. So the inter-party committee is not a watchdog per se. Let me just put it this way. It is not a watchdog. It was not actually created to look at the processes, the conduct of government. Because even within the inter-party committee, you have government. So you cannot be government because I can say we are government. You cannot be in government and criticize your own government. You understand what I'm saying? Except if you want to put it in the right way. So we are not a watchdog. But again, I think there's a little we can do. Because it's also looked at the other corner, which is talking about Gambians, sovereign Gambians. And the inter-party committee is here to build that peace architecture for everybody to benefit. You understand? And as long as that Gambian thing is there, inter-party committee has a mandate in ensuring that Gambian thing is protected. But again, we are not given the mandate to look into the conduct of how these ID cards are issued. The issuance of ID cards whole depends on the ministry and the Gambia Immigration Department. So like you said, those are concerns from individual political parties that have been given the mandate, that are registered under the IEC. They can serve as watchdog, but not the inter-party quote unquote. I hope you understand what I'm trying to distinct.
Well, Swaibu Ture.
Yes, of the PDOIs.
Was here. He said the inter-party should take up the issue so that they can address the concern of political parties who believe that the measure will be. But the implication is the electoral implication, the voters card. That's where the implication is. If there was nothing like that, I'm not sure politicians would even be interested. But the implication that the card may be
given to the wrong person.
Yes, because the card can be used to acquire a voter's card. So they believe because of the political implications, they as politicians and political parties have an interest to observe the process, or perhaps to, like in the case of GDC, I had recently, GDC said, in fact, the National Assembly should intervene and ensure that all people who have been registered, their names and their identities are disclosed to the people because it has electoral implications. So they are saying that IPC perhaps may be able to facilitate where the issuing authorities, that the Ministry of Interior, may now be sensitive to the concerns of the political players and say, okay, why don't we open the process now to observation by the political party? That's where
you are right on that side. You are right on that perspective. Just like you said, the inter-party committee will undergo a study and then see where we can intervene. But for now, I think we have to consult our party leaders.
Yeah, I understand. You want
to consult meeting, and then from the plenary, we will be able to have a consensus on how to approach the issue. Because we cannot just come out and say, no, what the government is doing is wrong.
You need to meet first.
We don't do that. What the government is doing is wrong. No. Hands down, we don't do that. But again, we will conduct a study to say, because government is part of the ruling, the opposition is there, they are also criticizing, so we bring everybody on board. What is your view about this? What is your view about this? You are the leader. You are in the opposition. Okay, what's your view? You are in the ruling. What is your view? How can we consolidate the gains on giving this insurance to people that are the right people? Because again, the implication will be there. Because in as much as it comes back on the other way, that is, if you have an ID, you're automatically qualified to have a voter's card. Although there are other ways of issuing voter's card different from the ID only.
Yeah, but if you have identity or not,
no question. So it's again,
it's very important.
Very important. It's again a concern. Like you mentioned, who the ID is given to.
Exactly.
The process can be open. I think we can hold them accountable. We can hold them accountable on how the process is done, so that it can be open to Gambians to understand that this is how the process is done.
Yeah, here, Lamin, I think what the IPC should have, could have done is that from the onset when they were doing this, the IPC was never involved. And doing such things, I think the IPC should have been invited to be an observer, to observe what is going on. Now, the issuance of these ID cards, I think it should have been the IEC that can observe it, because it will lead to where they are thinking that at least it can have easy access to issuing voters' cards. When you produce an ID card.
No, the IEC
may say, well, we have
you know what I'm saying? The reason why I say the IEC,
why?
because here, when you produce an ID card, the IEC can give you a voter's card.
That is their mandate.
That's their mandate.
That is their mandate. So there is no question.
Now,
no question that where did you get the ID? No question where did you get the ID card from?
No, the law has that their hands.
Exactly.
So this is why I said, as far as we are thinking that is going to be the end result,
it has
implications.
Yes.
So at least it would have at least been proper if they were also involved to know who and who is issued outside.
No, that would be difficult in this comes. I think what is happening is what is logical.
That's it.
We are not likely to hear IEC complain.
No, it's not.
They don't have business.
No, they have no business.
They don't have business. Their business is who.
Logically, what is happening is what politically we expect.
Yes.
People who are political players.
Yes.
And know the implications.
Oh, yes.
And naturally, the people who do
complain. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's what is happening now.
Yes. Yes.
And those people belong to political parties. And those political parties belong to the IPC.
That's it.
So that's why people are saying that perhaps the IPC can have a role in meeting those political parties and say, look, what is your concern about?
Yeah.
Well, we are not, we are not sure that, if you want an ID card today, what do you need today?
You need a birth certificate.
You have to prove
a birth certificate.
A birth certificate.
Yeah. Your mother, or your father's document, or your mother's one of them.
There is no enough thing. Alcalolo and others have to
attestation. Yeah.
Who's Alcalo in Gabon? Where is in
maybe the ambassador. Cannot everybody. This is why it's difficult for the IPC to come up with a step unless we complete our consultation with all political parties, because they are all part of it. Both government and the opposition are part of the IPC. So when government does something, before we can act, we can only have wider consultation with all political party leaders. We bring them together and put the issue before them. It will be debated and they will come to a conclusion. Whatever we agreed, then that's the time IPC can come up with a press release to inform all Gambians, this is what have happened on this issue. Now we are not we did not complete our consultation, though we are hearing what is happening. Other political parties have come up with their complaints. Others are silent about it still now. And those that are silent, we need to go and find their opinion on it. When we get that, then we can put things together and then we'll be able to come up with something that Gambians can hear from the IPC.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the ethics that what IPC is going to do. But again, it's a concern. We will ensure that the concern that's been raised the public, and then we will to put address and see. We also question the entire process, the entire procedural architecture on the insurance of these cards, because it's also a concern to the IP. Because I know if our members are complaining out there, although it is not officially to the IPC, that IPC we are complaining that this is what the government is doing, but again, because they also have the mandate to complain, we have even isolated the IPC. Okay, but again, we can also get them on board and say, okay, these are your concerns, this is public concern, let's see how best we can also interrogate the officials that are responsible to give us actually that procedural architecture on how these things is done, so that we also unveil it to Gambians to say, okay, this is safe and secure. Or if it is not safe and secure, we think there's a foul play, there's any other interior motive, then we can say, we have a position on this and say, okay, hey, this is the political space, this is what we want, and this is what we want to stop, or this is what we want to address. Then we can issue a press release and the public can consume that. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the IEC. Your relations with the IEC. Because often when complaints come to IEC and the IPC, maybe do you at IPC have to channel them, or do the parties channel them direct to the IP?
Which complaint precisely?
For example, if there's a political campaign,
okay,
like we had it last time, one party accusing of the other one of overstaying their campaign period in when it is
that is the campaign itinerary, yeah.
Complaints and stuff like that.
On the campaign itinerary.
The campaign itinerary. Yeah. When they come to IPC, is it IPC's role to take that to the IEC, or it is the parties directly complain to the IEC? What is the role? What is the relationship with IPC and IEC?
The IEC and the IPC, there is, if you see there is IPC, it's because of political parties. If there are no political parties, there will be no IEC. Now, we were formed due to the intervention of the IEC to make sure that the political parties have a platform where they can lay their complaints and let them be addressed there. We can only refer this after we try to address any situation. That's time when it is done, we refer it to the IEC. Okay, maybe if we want anything to be reprimanded or other these things, we can refer to the IEC. If IEC reprimand anybody in any political party, we ask them to allow us to discuss that. We see how best we can discuss, mediate, and solve the problem. When it is done, then we go back to the IEC and tell them the problem is solved once and for all, and we continue as a family. This is what we do. So we work hand in glove.
Okay. Yeah. Your membership, Mr. Bayo, you said you have 20 now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if each of these parties represented, you will have 19 opposition politicians, opposed to only one. That is the governing National People's Party. Naturally and logically, all these 19 are opposed to one. Naturally, it's one against 19.
But the emergence of
I'm coming to ask. Now, when you have 20 against 1,
yes,
in a body,
yes,
how do you work in such a way that this minority one is not is not actually trampled on, his rights and address?
Disenfranchised, or?
Yeah, that's right. For example, you have 20. And naturally, logically, all these, the 19 are opposed to NPP. So if you have 19 voices opposing NPP, how in the IPC do you conduct your ways to ensure that NPP's also voice is not trampled on by these 19? Because obviously if 19 people shout here, and only one person is shouting, people will hear only the 19 and not the one person. So how do you coordinate in such a way that this NPP does not feel disadvantaged or unfairly treated because you have majority of the people?
I can give you a model.
Yeah.
Either we'll look at it in perspective, the National Assembly, or we look at it, the UN General Assembly. We have, in the UN General Assembly, I think you have all member countries. And
yes.
each country has
one vote.
Its standing.
Yes.
No one supersedes the other.
Yes.
No matter mighty how you are.
Yes.
You don't have two votes in the UN General Assembly. And this is how the Inter-Party Committee is structured.
But when you come to
I'm coming. So if even we want to plot against one political party, whereas that political party is also sovereign in the IPC, will succeed or will not be disenfranchised. And besides, the IPC is molded in such a way that things of this you are mentioning doesn't exist at all in the IPC, whereas one can be trampled upon the other. Yeah. There is equality. There is no favoritism. When we talk about issues, in fact, if you've been closely looking at the IPC's activities, our representation is diverse. One party cannot be represented more than the other political party. And that is why before, if you invite the IPC into a conference or program or workshop, you have to invite all the 19 political parties. If not, we will not go. We will not attend. Yes, that's what we do. So if you say, okay, NHRC want to organize you are only 5, IPC will not go. Who will go and who will not go? Can you do the selection? Among 20 or 19, 5 is choosing. Who will go and who will not go? And then that's why we come, to the consensus that it's an institution. Sometimes it is not necessary.
Maybe that's why you are expensive to fund.
Because we are a family. Actually, normally we can be easily funded. That is, if you want to invite the IPC, you can invite 2, and then the co-chairs will go. They can represent
as an institution.
Are you seeing? Because we have one co-chair on the ruling side and one co-chair on the opposition. So if you cannot invite all the 19, you can invite 2. Okay, when you do that, actually, I think it will. You cannot. What you can do this. So here, the IPC is very interesting. If you go there, if you meet us in house, you will not know who is at the opposition and who is at the ruling, because we put our party colors outside when we are entering our house. So no political party can discuss about their own individual issue there. What you do if your political party have a problem, you write to the IEC. To the IPC rather, and the body will all sit together and then look at it. We look at what is the Gambian interest there, not the interest of an individual party, but whether these things, if it goes this way, it will be to the interest of all Gambians. We agree upon that. That's why they have never been voting in the IPC during our old.
But they are existing. We all have, but there is such a provision.
Yes, in our funding documents.
Yes.
Yeah. So you will see that.
But you have managed to have a concession in
all
throughout our existence.
No matter how contentious the matter is,
we'll disagree until
we always take consensus building approach.
Because if you are an individual who is insisting on something, we'll put things to you that you will compare. Whether this is to the interest of Gambians. If you say this and this and this, what Gambian interest is there? You look at it and then you judge yourself. Whether actually this what I'm pushing, is there any interest, national interest in it? You see? So later you will be convinced that, well, what I'm pushing is my own political party interest. So let me give up. And we agree to what is the Gambian interest. We go for that. And so this is why we always come to consensus. And however contentious the issue is, we always agree on what is the interest of Gambia.
And this is what unveiled the opportunity.
In the event of voting, like I said, the NPP will be seriously disadvantaged.
Yeah, that's why we.
In what condition? In what condition will they be in?
If they come up with a Gambian interest, they will be at a disadvantage.
I am impressed that you have managed to overcome all
those odds
through consensus.
Exactly.
Because that is very commendable.
Yes.
Because I think if there happens to be voting, the NPP will be
disadvantaged. And then, Mr. Cham, let me just say this. And
that's why I'm worrying with it. How do you protect the minority interest in yours?
And this consensus building approach is what unveiled the opportunity for the study tour of the Sierra Leonean delegation to come and understudy the IPC, because they look at it as peculiar in the sub-region. In fact, in Sierra Leone, it is not possible
to bring them together.
It is not possible at all for political parties to sit under the same table and discuss issues of national interest. Not in Ghana, not in Nigeria, not within the sub-region. So this has sent a strong signal out there for political parties that are minding the state of affairs in those countries to say, what is happening in the Gambia?
Small Gambia, this is possible.
They came on the study. They told us, they asked us to give them the secret. And this is what we told them. So it is peculiar. You cannot have this in any governance system in the world. Political parties coming together and like he said, we are in the IPCs, like even know who is NPP, who is GDC, who is how to call it, GAP or whatever. And some of us man senior positions in our parties. Like for me, I am the deputy party leader.
I know. So when you come to IPC, I normally don't like to talk about your individual party.
We don't talk about it at all. I'm just saying it. for you to understand what I'm trying to, the picture that I'm trying to paint, you understand that IPC is peculiar in the sub-region. And this is the reason why people value us outside. That what we are doing is actually paying positive dividend into the overall socio-economic development. You can go ahead and ask another question.
I'm now we're looking forward finally to what's going to be your program of activities for the election cycle that's coming?
The 2026?
Yeah, because the presidential is often, the cycle starts with the pyramid, the high pyramid right down to the smaller one. So what are the issues are you anticipating may come? For example, we have not seen the end of political parties yet. Every day we hear that some are formed in the air. You ask them, they said we are preparing. I've heard of how many now?
Now 20.
You have not put a tap on. No, I'm not talking about those who registered. Those are
outside ones
formed in the air.
There are many. About 6, 7 of them.
7 have been formed in the air.
We are waiting for the IEC to confirm.
They said they have contracted or collected the form they are coming on. Having up to another 10 or so by 2020.
Whatever the number we're able to manage. I think what we have an activity plan for the 2026 presidential election or the entire election cycle. And then before the plan kickstarts, we're waiting for the election calendar to come out very soon. I presume the authorities that are responsible will unveil this so that we will actually know when and when we're going to go about it.
Everybody knows December anyway.
But anyway, it is also hidden for now. It is also their mandate for them to unveil it so that we will know actually what is there. Then from there, one of the things that we make complaint and we want to rectify this year is for the IPC to be part of the election observers mission.
You weren't there before?
We never been there.
No.
Because what was quoted on us was like, we are political parties.
Yes.
We cannot.
They might think you are peoplex. That's not logical.
But no, it's not. Because there's a thin line that exists between IPC and political parties. Yes, there's a thin line. We are not political parties, but we govern the activities of political parties.
How can you bring somebody to observe an election who is already affiliated to one party who's in the ballot box?
That's it. The problem here is, as I told you, IPC, you will not know who belongs to which party. And whatever thing that we observe it as a body. That is what is the Gambian interest there. We observe it that way. And any report that we give, because when you are there, you are not going to send one person to observe that. We have either 2 or 3 who are from different political parties. They will come do their observation, and whatever they come up with would be something that is what the real on the ground, what they saw. Okay? It may affect another political party, it may not affect, but actually what we saw on the ground, that's what we are going to report directly. And that will be more credible. I see. So this is why we have political parties. Sometimes our members do contest elections. But they are not contesting under the ticket of the IPC. They are contesting under their individual political parties. That's fine. So we have nothing to do with that.
So that is why I believe that.
No. As far as they are within our, they are in our
midst.
That doesn't mean we are supporting them directly. We cannot. You see? And this is the reason why when ECOWAS gave us money the last time to support these women candidates, even the independent candidates, because they are women. So we had to go around and give them something to help themselves throughout. We did not discriminate which party is that.
So you mean
so everything was divided across correctly.
IC didn't grant you observer status?
Not yet.
But
we tried to find that.
I think the logic is that they think that since you belong to parties, or since you are the umbrella body for parties who are contesting.
Exactly.
In fact, during our stakeholder meeting, this was raised there, because when we had this political
convergence.
When we had the funds for these elections, sort of last year. So they said, well, the IPC will not be able to participate there because we have political parties. So then I made it clear to them. Some of our members are contesting election, but there is nobody contesting under the ticket of the IPC.
I know, but it's the same.
So,
how can I, as a journalist, rely on the observer notes of Samba Baldeh in Julangel, where the GDC is protesting against the NPP. How can I rely on Samba Baldeh's note as an observer?
But Samba Baldeh is not interparty committee.
But Samba Baldeh is GDC on that.
Right, but it's not interparty committee.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
Mr. Cham,
If I go there,
Cham.
if I'm sent by the IPC to do and observe anything there, I am not going to look at GDC. You see, I'm not going to look at the MPP, those who are there contesting with. What I'm looking at, what is on the ground, what I show, and that's what I'm going to report. If GDC cries foul, I will mention it, that GDC does that and that and that.
You'll mention that louder.
Of course.
Louder
Because what happened, if we look at when UDP people were assaulted in Kanilai, you know, Amunyas was then our co-chair.
Yes.
What we did is Amunyas that we sent there to go and talk to his people, that what they did is wrong. So he went there and addressed them. Okay? So because his people did that, so he is not in line with them. Is something wrong? And he have to voice it out that it is wrong. So if I go to observe such a thing, if GDC does something wrong, I'll voice it out that you have done something wrong. Are you seeing? I once we had a meeting where at least somebody started saying NPP that and that. I have to take the mic from the party. I see. Tell him we are not here for that. We have our constitution. We have our manifesto. Talk about that. You are not here to insult or to castigate any political party. You see, I did that. I ran at a political rally. So that shows that if I am committed to the IPC, okay, because that's why I'm giving the lead.
Yeah.
You see, so I cannot be biased in executing my duty as a chairman or co-chair of the IPC. You see, because I will think of the oath I made, that I will be sincere, fair, and dedicated to the duties, executing the duties of the IPC. So I cannot be biased.
In fact, that even brought us to the credibility of the IPC in terms of managing election duties. Why do you think? I know you are a journalist, you don't supposed to answer questions, but again, I'll just put it right.
You can sometimes.
Yes. So, why do you think all the observers' missions will have a meeting with the IPC? All the observers' missions.
When they come to the IPC.
They will all have meetings with the IPC, sharing their reports. Because they think IPC is a stakeholder. So it means we are assuming the position of that's attaining that status of observer's mission.
Yet the IEC did not give
it to us.
The status.
And those people rely on what we give them. Because not only to submit the report, but also what do we think about the report? And what is our own
before
intent?
They give the final.
What is our own intent? What do we see? What flaws do we notice during the elections? I think these are the issues. In fact, during the elections, we receive a lot of calls. We have a communication strategy that was supported by NDI. A telephone was given to the IPC. Complaint forms were printed and distributed to all the regions.
So everybody recognized the role, the independent and observer role of the IPC.
Yes. And calls were all over. We have people that are specified that are receiving those calls, and then the complaint forms also we are distributed to the regions. Some people write their complaints, and IPC was able to handle this and later feedback to IEC, which have the overall conduct of political parties in the country. You understand? So that alone has given a signal that IEC should have that status.
Okay. Maybe we are going to have the IEC and we'll ask him. I'll ask them. Okay. Ask him. Joe, you've got a new. Maybe with the new coming of the new chairman, that might be considered.
All right.
But we will definitely.
But we feel that
have
it's going to be an agenda.
They have their own argument.
Yeah.
They may see you people as not very.
It depends on how you see it. Sometimes it could be illusion.
But now they know the IPC because one time we had our secretary, voluntary secretary from them.
That is the admin.
Their admin was our secretary.
Mr. Juf.
Before we get our own admin
secretariat. Yeah.
I see. So they know the IPC, they know how we operate, and they know our ins and outs. So actually, it is easy for them to join the type of body the IPC is in case of such things.
Finally, you are in Bigelow, somewhere later in Tranquil in Bruceby. And now where are you now?
Well, we are now in Tranquil. Not the problem I told you that.
Tranquil.
No, in true, Tipagaras.
By the Alhaji Bank.
Tipagaras is one place. That's where you want.
Yes. Actually, actually here we are having this. I told you that finance
Constraints, yeah.
Now we are not yet a statutory body. We could have been offered an office by government and
you
so.
Come from one house to the other.
That's because of rent. Wherever we are able to list.
Evicted by the landlords? Or
not we are not evicted. We are not evicted, but we are looking at the rates where what we can afford.
Tranquil, I think we are paying 250.
Yeah, and there we are paying 150, and so on. So these are things because we don't have the funds. So the meager fund that we have, we put them where we can afford. You see. So here depends on affordability. That's the reason why of the movement.
You change offices in 3 times in the last 3 years.
No, the reason for moving to the Tranquil was that we want all-inclusive office where we have office downstairs. Okay. Where even the people with disabilities, people with disabilities can easily.
It was first floor.
That other one.
Yeah, it was up.
It was up. So we came there. But we found that that's so expensive because it's 250 we are paying. So we have to come back again to the high. This is again.
So you are buying a story building also in.
No choice.
We can do. Okay. This is why in fact we went to the.
Your case definitely needs to be.
That's it. We even went to the Ministry of Local Government and we gave them our annual budget that we need at least to get such a thing, and we are in fact requesting. Land from government to make sure that they give us a place, office space, where when we have that, we can use other means maybe to build it to the standard that we want. We are because we are talking of all inclusive. We want the people with disabilities and so on.
This has been very erratic. It was very, very erratic.
Public funds will be.
It is been very, very erratic because I think
since you have all the political parties under your umbrella, and they are the ones with the MPs.
That's it.
So when you can really hope.
we
are hopeful. Any bill for you will definitely be.
Yeah, because we were relying strongly on the United Nations Development Program. In fact, they were the one that we are paying all those monies for us, even at Bijilo. But it come at a certain time when they told us, because they're also receiving funds, the funds that are going to put them in certain projects that doesn't cover the expenses of the IPCs, especially in terms of offices. The only thing is we normally receive grants from them, and that grant is what they tap from and then pay for the IPC office. And in this time, according to the new funds that they receive, because every end of year they have their returns and whatever, their country program document, that is the CPD, actually analyzes that IPC, if we are going to have the normal fundings we usually have now, is going to be like based on the project that we're supposed to implement with them. So with no project implementation, we will not have funding. So out of that project implementation, we will have like 10% from administration fee from implementing that project. So by that 10%, that process is what we use to pay our rent. But again, to have project is not constant. Sometimes it happens now, sometimes it's just like that erratic nature. And secondly, transfer of cash to the IPC is a problem. I would say this is a problem by the United Nations system, especially the UNDP, because for them you have to meet certain criteria. That is what we call the micro assessment test. You have to go through a micro assessment test, and then you are fit to add cash.
How does money from UN to IPC go through?
Through projects.
Now, what they're doing, instead of IPC having transfer of cash, they are doing direct implementation. Direct implementation means they will do the procurement and everything. Yeah. So what you do is just provide the resources needed, and at the end of the day, we implement, and then they retire themselves. We don't retire to them. Yeah. So these are the problems that we're having. So we sit and then say, why we continue with this? Because there's deficiency along the process. These people we are supporting now, they say they are not supporting. Somebody else will get out there, they say now we are not doing it. Why can't we stand on our own legs? So that is why we come up with the idea of assuming that statutory status, so that we can benefit from the consolidation revenue fund. And then when that happens, you will see we don't even need, we might need them, but not entirely depending on the UNDP. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So this is what we are trying to do now.
Right, Alhaji Bayo, the head of administration at the Inter-Party Committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for your inputs on the brunch, as well as co-chairman Samba Baldeh. Thank you very much for coming on the brunch and bringing up speed with the situation with the IPC. And to all political parties who belong to IPC, we ask you for total cooperation. And for the Gambia government, of course, remember, NPP, the governing ruling party, we said, please pay more attention to the IPC so that they can achieve all what they wish, so that we can have peaceful and disputeless elections in the Gambia. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Cham. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.
Jamano Money Transfer Bureau de Change, your go-to option when it comes to money transfer. With Jamano, you can send money from anywhere in the world to your family and loved ones in the Gambia and be sure the funds will be delivered to them within the shortest time possible. For your convenience, funds sent through Jamano Money Transfer can be picked from all the banks and multiple other financial institutions, including Ajib Bank, Trust Bank, GT Bank, Mega Bank, Basic Bank, Reliance Financial Services, and Approved Services. Visit our head office at Bruceby opposite AfricMed next to Trust Bank Limited or email us at info@jamanomt.com. You can as well call us on 310-3050 or 310-3051 or yet still 733-0688. Our opening hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Jamano Money Transfer, your most trusted money transfer service where customer satisfaction is paramount. When you think of a simple, fast, and reliable money transfer, think Jamano Money Transfer.
Agada.
Mbijan aganyadi.
Albaka.
Mbaka important.
Yo, nga transfer la sto.
Ya transfer la.
Ha, code nyenje.
Okay.
Korsa.
Nsila ID soto.
Ha, sa soto. Sorry. Agada.
Mbijan bro.
Albaka.
Mbaka.
Bara alla service o tariya.
Ah,
mbare mo ki janna nun kunu bara tariya.
Jannom yona forest de bureau. Gambia tonkon na no mbari ya bere. Birim koyna fo kato.
Bari si kodo kino kato ni fo bolong blabe to.
56 branches mola sota Gambia jam.
Ha?
Gambia kono anin Gambia bantala bankol. Nka kono kiya bere to. kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta même na kodi topoto nin kodi maraw janno number 1 di nyonta andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale wala nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale de dadi ma nin domorol dir fana be teata gambia dawda yalo ma kum fa kendol sotale je
e wo mo yo diat
a felenta
ni wo ka ni lafta nyelen kendol e binaji
yalo bu kanila ko la baraka ba
yalo ndel chosano lo
abaraka